Good evening. My name is Susan Dunn, and I'm a member here at Circular, and one of the things I get to do is to work on the Jazz Vespers series. Tonight is going to be really special. We've never done poetry jazz, but here we go. These two fellas have worked very hard together to put together a program where the words and the music play off of each other, and they're going to really take us to places we've never been before. So I'm very excited to hear what their collaboration has put together. Jazz Vespers happens on the second Sunday of every month, so we'll be back the second Sunday in September, which I believe is September 8th. And Lorna Roberts, who's a really very talented musician, a vocalist, and she's a songwriter. And so she's actually writing some special songs for this service. So we're looking forward to having her with us. But we know you all have gotten here, in different ways. Some of you come regularly, some of you just drifted in, some of you may just have seen the sign. However you got here the right way. And we're happy to have you here and hope that you get to enjoy this very special evening of music and can let yourself enjoy it in any way you need to. If you need to move around, if you need to clap, if you need to sing, you never know. But you're welcome to throw yourself into the service as best you can. And so I will let Marcus and Bill show us where we're going.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. I am Ray's father. I am Jordan's husband. I'm also here in this space with you all. And I invite you to just really listen to not just the words, but the space in between the words. It's very important for me in this busy, chaotic world. There is also peace, and that's where we are. So thank you for choosing to be here among all the things that you could be doing right now. Thank you for being here. And this is Bill. In the lightning quick game of life, many of us are still toddlers. Loud and oddly graceful beings constantly learning how to trust our bodies when life offers up a fall. Sometimes proud and ungrateful, seeing ourselves as the center of it all. We're so messy. We don't know what to do when we slip up and scrape the skin or bruise the ego. We have to keep learning that each boo-boo goes deeper than the bone. We don't have the language it takes to accurately describe how hard it is to be in a wildly weird world where everything can seem bigger than you. Where it can be a miracle to simply put one foot in front of the other, where a typical day means fighting ourselves and/or fighting each other. We're so messy. And when we get older, we realize there's too many steps to step out of the door, to step over the dirty laundry littered and wrestling with itself on the floor, because we can't tell the difference between a cartoon, a soap opera, and the news. And it's hard to know which way we should go when we are working through the blues. We're so messy. And we have to keep adapting to the strange changes in our bodies as we crawl our way out of the mind's constant craving of junk food, junk television, junk technology. We're so messy and so beautiful in the strangest of ways. We're so beautiful. We blow candles and make wishes to celebrate age. We dream up stories to make weird and wonderful art. And we still make love even after a broken heart. We're so beautiful. As we awkwardly adjust to the way being an adult has distorted our reality, how everything that used to be so big now seems so small, how everyone we know is still learning how to trust their bodies when life trips them up and offers that fall, but we're so beautiful. We're so beautiful. Our sleepy brains are capable of vivid, sensuous, lucid dreaming. We even bless each other just for sneezing. And meanwhile, a toddler is somewhere screaming and screaming for love. We're so beautiful.
How lucky you are that your beautiful, messy self has made it here tonight. For the call to worship, I will share words from Marcus. Someone will tell you to step outside your comfort zone, but sometimes you need to be reminded that it's okay to see the beauty of your own boundary. Stay inside and notice the way sunlight cuddles your bed. Call it a spell. Pay attention to the sorcery of a family recipe. Rewind your tongue and refresh its memory. If your heart is heavy, that's okay. Change will not happen today. Close your eyes and forfeit your internal revolutionary war. Be a prisoner to your own style of comfort. And in the process, remember who you are. Water the plants. Lay low in a culture obsessed with rising. You deserve to indulge in self-love and remained faithful to a memory's grace. Go back to where you started. And that's where the magic happens.
Go outside at 4:44 a.m. and point a flashlight to the sky. Use that moment as a reminder that it only takes a few steps to unsee the walls, vanish the ceiling, and dissolve the boundaries around you. Your light is in constant elevation. All you have to do is turn it on, turn it on. Go outside at 4:44 a.m. and point a flashlight to the sky. Use the moment as a reminder that it only takes a few steps to unsee the walls, vanish the ceiling, and dissolve the boundaries around you. Your light is in constant elevation. Is it on? Go outside at 4:44 a.m. and point a flashlight to the sky. Use the moment as a reminder that it only takes a few steps to unsee the walls, vanish the ceiling, and dissolve the boundaries around you. Your light is in constant elevation. Are you turning it on? Is it dim? Go outside at 4:44 a.m. Point a flashlight to the sky. Use the moment as a reminder that it only takes a few steps to unsee the walls, vanish the ceiling, and dissolve the boundaries around you. Your light is in constant elevation. Is it on?
As our prayer of confession, we'll share another poem written by Marcus. Give yourself some flowers. In the beginning, God gave your body a checklist. Keep your heart on beat and your lungs dancing with oxygen, not passive to air. Make sure the path of your blood slows down for checkpoints and avoids bumps in the road. Train your nerves to keep a balanced pace and stay within the lines of steady flow. Push forward without putting too much pressure on movement. Remember to water when your spirit and its frame are in drought. Treat your body like a well-rounded planet built for all seasons. Or pretend you are an adaptable star. Float in the black and stay there if you need to. Save some light for yourself. In other words, rest. Rest like the sun does. Schedule some time to stay out of sight when too many people praise your warm energy. Keep in mind all of these things when depression tells you nothing is working. Keep in mind all of these things when it tells you there's no invisible force connecting us. When your veins are stopped by blood clots, when your bones are dry and the water is too quick to boil. Keep in mind all these things when it tells you that the soul is like a body, made to be broken, open to deterioration and doubt. Yes, keep in mind all these things and remember, even when it seems like the clock isn't ticking, you were made perfectly for this moment in time.
I need to get Susan to read all of my poems from now on. Thank you all for holding space for us. This is a poem that I wrote a few years back, and it really, in my mind, oh no, it's fine. This poem is really just about staying in the present moment and knowing that, despite everything that we have, all of these anxieties, all these things that we have, it's part of the human experience. And I think that that's sort of a theme of a lot of the poems that I chose for tonight. There's a lot of messiness within us that we try to push away. And I think that we can play with those parts of us. Those parts of us have a purpose. So this is another poem in that vein. It's called The New Foundation. Every moment that you are alive is the only moment that matters. The past is a glass house, and we throw stones trying to shatter walls that need to come down. We are all architects of negativity. Brick by brick of bold thoughts, holding together bodies bound by blood, but burned by love. So we let bugs into our house. And each infestation is a manifestation of our own insecurity until our walls come down. Be aware of the model you are building. Allow enough room for God. Give Jesus the floor plan. Let Buddha have a spare key so that he may open up the blinds when you are blind to your own light. Let your home be a haven for heaven, but dig deep if your walls need to come down. People are insane. We live like zombies, blindly walking, even stalking ourselves. staring at computer screens that poison our pockets, claiming the key to a connection is really an infection of the mind. We are born with the breath of rhythm, yet we cut the cords of our connections and we find ourselves stuck between the intersection of freedom and ego. But which way will you go when your walls need to come down? By no means am I perfect. I have been known to cling to clutter and sit comfortably in uncomfortable chairs. I have been known to obsess over obsessiveness. I have been known to keep friendships when they do nothing but harm. What about you? Do you sound an alarm when your foundation is on fire, or do you fan the flames long enough for 5 o'clock to roll around? Well, this is not happy hour. This is the time for time to not be spent counting down 8 hours behind the desk of your own shadow. This is the time to free yourself from the mental cage where all ages grow to know pain. This is the time to start a new revolution. At this moment, we can start a new revolution, y'all. Where love is the solution to the troubles of the world, with weapons of mass reconstruction, rebuilding houses whose walls need to come down. This is the time. And that's that one.
Tonight's scripture is Psalm 130. I read somewhere that the Psalms were written down, but the Psalms were words to a song. And everybody knew the tune, so they didn't have to write the tune down. And they wrote the words down because they figured that people would forget the words. And now where have we gotten ourselves? We've got the words and we lost the tune. But see if you can make up a tune to this in your head, because it was meant to be sung. And I'm not going to make up a song and sing it to you. I can't improvise like these guys. But the notion that somewhere along the line we lost the song has made these words not have the power they were intended to have. This is Psalm 130, and it's the Message transliteration by Eugene Peterson. Help, God, I've hit rock bottom. Master, hear my cry for help. Listen hard. Open your ears. Listen to my cries for mercy. If you, God, kept records on wrongdoings, who would stand a chance? As it turns out, forgiveness is your habit, and that's why you're worshiped. I pray to God, my life's a prayer, and wait for what God will say and do. My life is on the line before God, waiting and watching till morning. waiting and watching till morning. O Israel, wait and watch for God. With God's arrival comes love. With God's arrival comes generous redemption. No doubt about it, God will redeem Israel, buy back Israel from captivity to sin. Listen, God is still speaking. These words are a cry for someone who's not quite sure where he or she stands in the world or stands in the eyes of God. But trust that God will forgive the mess that this person is and will see this person as beautiful and as part of God's world. But I think in the context of the present chaos of the world, I think sometimes we tend to think that the human experience and experiment is one of progress. When you read this kind of a psalm, you realize that human beings have been doing the crazy things that we do now for a long time. And that God's redemption is the hope that we can lean on, but it's no excuse for our behavior. And that we still are called to recognize where we stand and make the changes that can bring us closer to the beloved community. Amen. So while these folks play more, we'll come around and take up an offering because, money speaks and it still makes it possible for us to have the Jazz Vespers. And people who are watching this online, you can send things in through the church app, or on the church website.
And this next poem is a new poem. It's so funny to me that I write so much about not being on our phones, and then I'm reading this on a phone. But this is a new poem that is going to be turned into a kid's book. If you have any suggestions on how this can change, please let me know. It's called The Sparrow and the Oak Tree. When I feel lost, it's as if I'm not grounded. It's as if the weight of the world is not just on my shoulders, but also in my heart. It's as if my thoughts are lost in a dark forest with no sign of a road map or the sun, and it seems as if I am the only one. Am I the only one? But even in the dark, there is something I remember that's always behind the shadow. If I take a deep breath, I can remember it like a dream. And in that dream, love was a sparrow, and the sparrow was love. And when love found me, she rested in my hands, as gentle as a bird landing on an oak tree. She saw me, growing like a seed from the earth, birthed by a miracle, and not yet burned by my own thoughts. And she found me. and she read my palms like road maps as if she were tracing the routes of her history. Love had claws that cut to the bark bone, and she told me, life will be full of emotional waves and storms, and there will be rain, but I'm here to tell you, you'll always have the power to work with the pain. Life will be full of emotional waves and storms, and there will be rain, but I'm here to tell you, you'll always have the power to work with the pain. When storms come, you will get lost in the forest of your own thoughts. You will find seasons of depression. You will pine for the sun when the rain empties from an eclipsed sky. Life will be full of emotional waves and storms, and you might feel insane, but I'm here to tell you, you have the power to work with the pain. You will look down at your life as a pool of memory. Your branches will fall off, but you will always be grounded. And now when I feel sad, I know that eventually love's energy will wrap around me like foliage. Its leaves constantly turning sunlight into food as I feed off of the energy to grow, because I know, despite the heaviness of life, despite the heaviness of life, I can see myself as that winged bird looking for the perfect moment to catch the wind and let myself go. Work with the pain.
Will you pray with me? God of history and our hearts, so much has happened to us during these whirlwind days. We've known death and birth. We've been brave and scared. We've hurt. We've helped. We've been honest. We've lied. We've destroyed. We've created. We've been with people. We've been lonely. We've been loyal. We've betrayed. We've decided. We've waffled. We've laughed, and we've cried. You know our frail hearts and our frayed history. Help us to believe in beginnings and in our own beginning again, no matter how often we've failed before. Help us to make beginnings, to begin going out of our weary mind into fresh dreams, daring to make our own bold tracks in the land of now, being willing to have power against pain, being willing to work with pain, to begin forgiving so that we may experience mercy, to begin questioning the unquestionable so that we may know truth, to begin disciplining that we may create beauty, to begin sacrificing that we may accomplish justice, to begin risking that we may make peace, to begin loving that we may realize joy. Help us to be a beginning for others, to be a singer to the songless, a storyteller to the aimless, a poet to the hopeless, a befriender to the friendless, to become a beginning of hope for the despairing, of assurance to the doubting, of reconciliation for the divided, to become a beginning of freedom for the oppressed, of comfort for the sorrowing, of friendship for the forgotten, to become a beginning of beauty for the forlorn, of sweetness for the soured, of gentleness for the angry, of wholeness for the broken, of peace for the frightened and the violent of the earth. Help us to believe in beginnings, to make a beginning, to be a beginning, so that we may not just grow old, but grow new, each day in this wild, amazing life that you call us to live with passion and with grace. Amen. So thank you so much, Marcus and Bill. This has been really amazing, and so grateful for you for putting your talents together and sharing what you've been able to, the magic you've been able to weave together with us tonight. Really, very much appreciate it. I had no idea really what I was getting into, but I was really very pleased and touched by the work that you've shared with us. Marcus is going to run out after the service so he can get in the back and sign his books and sell them to you. So don't trap him up here. Give him a chance to go back to the books. So,
Thank you.
So thanks again. Thank you. Go now in peace. Live in separation no more. Love God and love one another. Play us out of here.
I do want to say before we end, I just want to thank you, Bill, for your friendship and for the community that that you've nurtured. So we are both dads, and my daughter's 4.5, and how old is Nathan? Yeah, 4.5 as well. So we've always known each other, been in the same circles, but like the circle got a little tighter when we became dads, and we started to have these dad dates. So it's really cool to go from like hanging out at a playground, library, all types of places, to being on stage together. So thank you. Yeah, and we're gonna experiment some more and have some fun. And thank you all for the space that you've allowed us to be in. This song is from an album that I will be releasing soon. Who decided to call us black and white? When I look at my skin, I don't see black, I see brown. Brown like the color of sand, it's a brilliant tan that needs no sun, brown. Like the mahogany tree bark grounded in the summer, whose green leaves make the transition into fall. Coffee stained by the autumn's cool breeze, who decided to call us black and white? When I look at my wife, I don't see white, I see brown. Just a lighter shade than mine. Brown is the cinnamon that colors her iris. Brown are the arms that wrap around me during a bronze sunset. Brown are the layered bricks of our home's foundation. Who decided to call us black and white? When I look at all of you, I see shades of brown. A sea of one color, ripples of love floating along a sea change. There are so many words used to divide us, to make us believe that we are separate. We are more than a box-checked statistic. We are love. white, I am awake. I am not a human. I am a soul. I am not black or white. I am awake. I am not black or white. I am awake. Thank you all so much. I have books for sale. Wow. And yeah, thank you all. Meet somebody new, please. All right, peace.